Hey guys, this is John.
And Austin.
This is another episode of the Meatgistics podcast brought to you by Waltons. We're going to have Will Hartnett. He runs a Future Farmers of America out of a small little town called Wall, Texas. We're going to have him as a guest a little bit later. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. Got a bunch of things I want to talk to him about. Today we're talking about something that doesn't always make the headlines, but it really should. The Future Farmers of America, or FFA. So for nearly a century, this organization has shaped not just great farmers, but great leaders, young men and women who understand the value of hard work, responsibility, and community. In a time when fewer Americans are growing up on farms, the FFA reminds us that agriculture isn't just an industry, but a way of life. It's the food on our table, the fiber in our clothes, and the fuel in our engine, and the backbone of rural America. So today, we're taking a closer look at how FFA continues to plant the seeds for our country's future students through one chapter, one community at a time. And we have joining us today, Will Hartnett from Wall FFA in Texas. Will, how we doing? Absolutely. So just some quick background on how this all kind of came to be. I was just perusing orders, seeing what was going on. And I saw that we sent a 32 grinder down to Wall, Texas, and I happened to see it had FFA listed on it. And I was interested in that, so I reached out to Will. He was gracious enough to join us on this podcast.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Y'all showing the interest in our program and what we do. We've used y'all's products for quite a few years now, and just got a new one. We were talking about it earlier, getting to use it today for the first time, that new grinder, and it sure does make things easy for us.
How many pounds did you grind up?
Today we did 250 pounds.
Is that pork, beef, mix?
So we make a pure pork sausage. It's our own recipe. Through my food processing class, we developed our own seasoning pack. We developed our own process. We keep it very simple. We're kind of on a time constraint a lot of times. Busy weeks, classwork. We run concession stands, so we've got to get all that going, plus all our teams that we're training, classes we're teaching. So we do it all here in class, make our own. Sometimes it might be as little as, like this week, a couple hundred pounds up to 400 plus pounds a week.
That's awesome. Now, when you say pork sausage, are you specifically talking about a breakfast sausage, or is that also bratwurst, any sausage? It's different in different areas.
Sure. So we're out here in West Central Texas. It's an old German Czech farming community, and the sausage kind of takes its roots from that. It's just traditional link sausage that we make. We actually use them for our concession stand as a sausage wrap. So we make about an 8-inch long, close to half-pound link that we cook up and then serve for that. And it's a very basic seasoning, but it's well liked here in the community.
Yeah, that's awesome. Did the kids get involved with that? I mean, obviously they're helping with the processing. Are they also running the concession stands?
Yeah, so everything here, and that's part of the FFA idea, is that it's a student-led organization, and we treat that the same way in our classes. We love that, it's pretty much hands-off on my end. I try to let the kids do everything. They are part of the cutting, the seasoning, the grinding, the stuffing, the linking, and then we run the concession stand. It's a major fundraiser for our organization. We've got a very large active chapter, and we raise quite a bit of money through that concession stand. I do have some parents and myself that help do the cooking end of it, but all the serving and the customer service is going to be done by the students.
I imagine that's something that for at least a certain type of kid could be a confidence builder. Like it's giving them some responsibility, giving them a little bit of power, and something they can kind of feel a little bit of pride in. Do kids see it that way, or is it kind of like almost like a chore?
Sure. No, I definitely don't see it as a chore for a lot of them. In most classes, they're going to be sitting there all day taking notes and taking tests and quizzes. And this gives them a chance to do something with their hands. And it's a lot of them being the kind of community that we're in. Many of them have grown up making sausage with their family. So they see it as something quite enjoyable and something they have a background in. But honestly, some of our more kids that really get involved with it have no background. They didn't grow up on a farm. They didn't have a family that made their own meat products. But they learn about it, and they take pride in doing that. And, you see them at the concession stand, and their parents come and buy that link that they helped make this week. Or, you see them come by on a Thursday night when they're not playing varsity ball, and they stop into the concession stand and get one of those links that they made themselves. And you hear them talk about that. And that kind of, I love the fact that they enjoy eating the products that they are making themselves.
Yeah, I say it all the time. One of my favorite things is when something I've made, I feed to somebody and they're like, oh, that's so good. Or, how'd you do that? It is an awesome feeling. So I saw you guys just made a trip to Texas Tech. Looks like you won a meat judging contest, as well as I thought I saw third in a pig breeding.
Sure. So we've got an active chapter that does everything from our career development events, leadership contest, stock showing as well. We just had the Texas State Fair this past week and had some exhibitors up there showing steers and market barrows. Had some success there with several of the students making the sale. And then this past weekend, we went up to Texas Tech and had the first meat judging contest of the year. We've got a good bunch returning from last year, a team that was 10th in the state of Texas in our FFA contest, and got a lot of high hopes for them. So we went up there to Tech. They always put on a great contest for us, and got to go up against some good competition. Wound up pulling out the win this past weekend. Had the high individual as well, and some other students putting up some good scores. But honestly, probably my favorite part of it was my senior boys getting to work with those freshman students that we got, and those three freshmen that we hauled up there. They had a chance to learn from them and work beside them, and get to learn from a group that really has a lot of potential and chance to do some really good things this year.
So when you say meat judging, like what is involved in that?
So they're evaluating meat for, I guess you'd say the value of it. So we look at beef, we look at pork, we look at lamb. There's beef carcasses, there's beef primals and retail cuts that they can evaluate individual placing classes. So in a placing class, you'd have four different either beef carcasses, four different beef ribs, loins. You could have a pork carcass class where you have four pork carcasses, or loin chops, and you're evaluating them based on their value. We also do beef grading where they have the beef carcasses. They've got to evaluate quality and yield. They have a set of IDs that they have to go through and identify several hundred cuts of meat. But each contest is different what they use. There's going to be 40 ID cuts that are selected for each contest. And those students go through and they have to identify the species, the primal, the actual name of the cut, as well as the cookery method that would be used for it. And then there's also a written exam and some stuff that goes along with it as well. But it's pretty detailed contest. The kids get a lot out of it.
Yeah, they had nothing like that at least where I grew up. The two things that I'm jealous of down here for high school kids are that, and now all of a sudden there are trap shooting teams popping up at every high school. Two things I would have loved to had in my high school. We just didn't have that opportunity. That sounds so cool. So have you always been involved with FFA, or how'd you get involved with it?
So on a personal level, I grew up on a family farm, Southeast Texas. We raised cattle, we raised swine. Grandfather had his own little butcher shop. Anything that we raised, we butchered ourselves. We're going to fill the freezer full of our own meat. And I was in the 4-H program growing up. I did FFA as well, but I'll be honest, I was probably more of a 4-H kid growing up than I was FFA. But I did have a good ag teacher. I learned a lot from him. And when I went off to college, I knew I wanted to be an ag science teacher. So that's what I did. I went to Texas Tech and got my degree in ag education. I came to Angelo State out here in West Texas. They've got a meat science program. I studied meats there, got my master's, and then started teaching. This is year 21 for me. Like I said, I started probably more in the 4-H, but now I'm an ag teacher and really pushed the FFA. I love the opportunities that it has, and a lot of it for being what we just talked about, those career development contests. Things like meat judging, livestock judging, horse evaluation. We've got land and home site contests. There's so many different things that offers a young student that they can learn about these different careers, and it helps prepare them, give them an idea, maybe what I want to do in college or a different trade school that I might want to go into. And most of these things are going to get them up and out of the chair instead of sitting there and being lectured to. We're doing things hands-on, whether it's here working with meat or out in the greenhouse or out in the shop. I got a teaching partner that runs shop classes, teaches welding. They've got a giant trailer they're working on right now, building from scratch. So there's a lot that it offers. And for that, I feel fortunate that I get to do a job that I absolutely love.
Yeah, and the ability to get any of the kids up out of their seat, up doing something with their hands, engaging. I remember being back in school and just being so bored sitting behind a desk looking at the blackboard. We didn't really have the opportunity to do a lot of things with our hands. So you're getting the kids re-engage with the learning process, which is awesome. And one of the things I really love that you said is get them thinking about what they want to do. When I went to college, like I didn't have any idea. My friends didn't have any idea. We were just going to college. So showing them that there is possibility of careers in these fields is something that I think is really important. So that's awesome.
No, definitely. In a day and age when these kids can rack up so much debt going to college, especially those that don't know what they want to do. They're just going, well, I'm going to take some classes. I'm going to take entry level classes. And, eventually we'll move it into a degree plan of some kind. And then they switch majors a couple of times. Having to me career development programs and things that they have an opportunity to see, maybe I like that. And, we push the vocational side of things a lot out here. FFA and ag science falls under the career and technology education, the CTE programs that schools can offer. And the whole idea is just to teach these kids about career opportunities. And maybe that still requires a 4-year degree. It might be something they learn at their local junior college or like here in Texas, we have the state technical colleges where they can learn any of these trades that we offer.
Well, you guys are always doing a great job. I mean, look at all those banners behind you. Can you talk a little bit about those?
Sure. Now, I'm fortunate to teach at a program that has a storied history. Frank Hermesmeyer was here for a long time. He's retired now. He's actually our area supervisor for FFA here in West Texas. And that's a guy that won a lot of banners over the years, many state championships, just legendary. He's a Hall of Fame ag teacher here in the state of Texas. So I got to come to a school that has a lot of support. We've got great administration and a lot of great kids to work with. These banners behind me, there's a trophy cabinet out in the front when you come into the building. It's got a lot of our bigger plaques and trophies as well. We like to hang them up and display them to show the kids, one, the success that came before them, and hopefully the success they can continue to have for our program. And they got to work hard. It doesn't come without effort and work. And fortunately, we've got the kind of kids with that kind of mentality here that we get a lot of work done and have a lot of success.
That's absolutely great to hear. Can you talk a little bit? You brought up 4-H earlier. What sets 4-H and FFA apart? And how are they similar? How are they different?
Sure. Both are youth organizations. My daughters are in 4-H as well as junior FFA, and they are very active in both. My experience with 4-H is a lot of that's going to be outside of the class. It's away from school. It's not integrated the way FFA is with the classroom. We talk about FFA as being intracurricular. It's actually part of the ag science program. And when it was set up, talking about going back almost 100 years now, that FFA has been around, that was all part of the ag science classes and developing a leadership program that was intertwined with it. Whereas 4-H had a separate kind of beginning. You have county extension agents that their job is to work on the local levels to help get information out there and work with the farmers and the young people in their programs, but it's not really related to the school. So, that I think that's probably the biggest difference. Both organizations do a great job in training kids and giving them experiences and hands-on type things they can learn from. I think both are great organizations. Like I said, my kids are in both. I'm very happy that they are. But I think the biggest difference is that FFA is going to be tied in directly to the schools that your kids go to.
So it's tied to the school. That makes sense. I looked up Wall a little bit, and it does look like it's a very small town. Does it draw for more than just the town for the school system?
Sure. So Wall's an old farming community, going way back to the early 1900s when the first farmers came out here and set up shop. And we're probably about 10 to 15 miles east of San Angelo, which is the larger city out here in West Texas. And we do draw some people closer from there. I will say this is year 16 for me at Wall. I've been here quite a while now, and it's changed quite a bit. When I started here, Wall was primarily, at least in the ag classes, I was going to have a lot of kids that lived and worked on a farm. Their family lived and worked on a farm, or the primary income for a lot of those kids came from the farm. And that part has changed. We've seen a lot of development of some subdivisions. We've had a lot of people that live on that edge between Wall and San Angelo, and they're in the school district, and they're great kids, but they're not farm kids. And honestly, to me, that's probably the part of what I see the biggest benefit of FFA for our kids going forward is being able to reach out to those that don't have an ag background. I can show those kids where their food comes from. And I think that's probably the most important part is a lot of these families nowadays have a disconnect from the agricultural community. It's not late 1800s, early 1900s where everybody lived and worked on a farm and you sold what little extra goods you had to go to the city people. Most people don't live on a farm. We've got 2% of our population that lives and works on a farm feeding the rest of them. And when you start to break down those numbers and think about how much meat production, how much food and fiber is having to be produced, people need to understand where that comes from. Because far too often you hear people talk about things they don't really understand. And, they don't like agriculture and they don't like this, but they have no clue that they're dependent upon it every day. They think that they're dependent upon their phone. They think they're dependent upon the internet. Those things don't matter when the food supply is not there. And to me, that's probably my biggest job that I need to have is being able to show some of these students that this is where your food comes from and this is where you're going to get it. And if you don't have those skills to possibly make it, that's something you might want to consider having. I think COVID kind of showed us back in 2020 that you better have a good idea of where your food comes from. Huge supporter of our ag industries and how things work. And I get the whole idea of efficiency within our food system, but it also showed the vulnerability of our food system. And we had some issues there in terms of supply chain and supply of steadily available foods. Yep. And, if we get faced with something like that again, it's very important for people to understand where and how to process their own foods and where that comes from, or at least to understand and have an appreciation for that. So to me, that's my biggest job here is through my classes, be able to introduce those kids that didn't live and work on a farm to agriculture and the importance of it in our society.
I bring it up all the time. I probably have done it too many times. I think the most positive thing to come out of the COVID-19 craziness was people trying to get reconnected to their food, where it comes from, how they can do it themselves. I tell the story all the time. I have had a conversation with somebody who legitimately thought their food came from the grocery store. Like that was the furthest they'd ever gone down the thought process of where their food comes from. They're like, what are you talking about? Meat comes from the grocery store. I'm like, yeah, but they're not raising it there, right? They're just kind of looked at me blankly. I was like, all right, well, maybe this person is just an NPC and isn't capable of thinking beyond that. But yeah, it is incredibly important for people to get more involved with their food comes from. A saying that started to become more popular was talk to the man with blood on his hands. Like go as far down the chain as you can possibly get to. And it's just important. If we ever run into another one, because you referenced it, I like to say that our food supply chain was stress test and we passed, but it was close. I mean, I'm sure there were processing plants with 2-year wait times. So if you had a bunch of cattle and you didn't have those scheduled, you weren't getting them processed where you normally got them processed. So it was close there for a while.
Yeah, no, definitely. It opened up a lot of people's eyes. I think it exposed a lot of weaknesses within that supply chain and things that we need to do to make sure it's secure. And, I don't think it collapsed by any means, but it definitely showed us what things we need to work on. And hopefully we've made those changes going forward. But, if nothing else, like you said, maybe a lot more people understand where their food comes from. They have a better understanding of what they need to do to be prepared for situations like that.
Yeah. A couple quick questions. What would you say to some, I don't know, how old is a kid when he usually gets involved with FFA?
So at the high school level, we're going to have freshmen through seniors here in our program. Some schools in Texas and different places actually have a junior high, like a 7th and 8th grade ag classes. We don't do that here. We wait until they're in high school before we offer the actual classes. We do offer a junior FFA where kids can get involved. We've got a lot of kids here that show livestock and different ag mechanics projects through our junior FFA program. So from that standpoint, they get involved as early as third grade for us, third grade, 9 years old kind of time frame. That's the way the junior FFA membership. 4-H is a similar deal in terms of age for those kids as well.
Okay. If a kid comes in, say someone transfers in from area without an FFA, they're a junior, can they still get in, or do you have to kind of step into it?
Sure. No, they're always welcome. We typically, for us freshmen, they're going to take the principles of ag. That's kind of the basic general freshman level kind of class. If a kid missed that as a sophomore and they didn't get to take ag as a freshman because scheduling didn't allow, or maybe they weren't sure they wanted to do that at the time, we typically still try to get them in as a sophomore into that principles class. But, depending on what they really want to do and if they have a career interest in something like ag mechanics or horticulture or the food science, then we'll get them in whatever classes we need to. We offer a pretty wide variety of classes here within our program. But yeah, if a kid comes in as a junior and they'd love to take ag and they didn't have it where they were at or whatever that might be, we're going to find a way to get them involved in a class that suits their interests. And I think that's one of the coolest things about what we do is we offer so many different classes, and they try this year. And if they have an interest in something else, maybe they do horticulture this year and they do the food science the next, or they can do welding. There's so many different options that a kid can have for the programs.
Well, I mean, there are a lot of different jobs on a farm. That's for sure. So last question, what are some of the biggest misconceptions about FFA that you run into?
I think some of it goes back to what FFA stands for, Future Farmers of America. And I see that now more than I did 10, 15 years ago, where most of my kids did live and work on a farm. And if you asked them, yeah, they wanted to have a job in agriculture. They had a family member that did. And now that's not as common. So, you'll have some kids that are turned off by it. They think that FFA is just for that farm kid or that kid that has an interest in raising a pig or a steer and living on a farm or raising animals or going into an ag career. And honestly, kind of like we talked about earlier, I think the kids that don't live and work on a farm are the ones we need to reach out to the most. And that's the ones that can get the most out of this program. So, I think that's the biggest misconception is, well, I'm not a farm kid, I shouldn't take ag. But the kids that aren't a farm kid, they're the ones that can benefit the most from understanding where their food and fiber comes from.
Yeah, honestly, I couldn't agree more. Will, I told you when we initially started talking, if you guys ever need any help, feel free. You have my email address. We have a bunch of good knowledge sources. Doesn't sound like you really need it. Seems like you know what you're doing pretty well. But if you run into any questions, we've got some meat scientists here.
Sorry, that email you sent me, and I started looking at the Meatgistics and some of the blog stuff and the information, and I was reading over some of it today. And my new venture, I love to try new things in our food processing, and we make our own bacon. We do some different things. We'll break down pork carcasses from leftover show pigs a kid might have, and we do all those things. We make our sausage, but I want to make meat sticks. So I started trying that. I ordered some stuff. We got the high temp cheese. We got the jalapeno, and we got the casings. And I did a lot of things right, but also did a lot of things wrong.
Okay.
With what we do, a lot of it is experimentation. Our sausage, it was not the first time that we made it that it was great. And some people would say, well, you could still do this or you could do that. And I'm like, well, pretty well liked right now as it is, and I don't want to go changing a whole lot. But for me, whenever we try something new like the meat sticks, I call this number one, finding out how not to make a meat stick. And it was good, but there were some things that I want to change. And I started looking at your information online today, and like I didn't use a binder, and I think that we were rendering some of that fat out. It was a little bit dry, and it wasn't having that consistency that I wanted in terms of texture. And I started reading some of that, and I'm like, well, this is where I went wrong. And so, that information, I'm going to sit down over the next few days and look through a lot of that. And I'll probably be hollering at you, pick your brain a little bit on some ideas that I've got. But, for an ag teacher out there, after you showed me that, I started looking at it. And there's a lot of good information that y'all have out there. And, I encourage anybody that can. We don't have a meat science laboratory. We don't have a fancy setup here. But we have what we've got. We make it work. And, for an ag teacher out there, you're thinking, well, I don't have the facilities for that. I don't have that. I mean, we started out with one of your cheapest grinders and a stuffer that we got, I don't know, probably 12 years ago. And this is the first new grinder that we've gotten. And it doesn't take an arm and a leg. It doesn't take the fanciest facilities to do this stuff. It just takes a desire and a passion, and get after it and experiment and try. And, you're going to make mistakes, and there's going to be times that we're going to need some food testers to try this out and tell us what we did wrong, and, gather ourselves back up and try it again. But I love some of that stuff that y'all have out there for the educational side of things. I'm definitely going to use it going forward. Got some friends I'll share that with as well. There's more teachers out there that need to see that.
Well, that's excellent. And if it's teachers, feel free to share my email address. I'd be more than happy to help them out as well.
Appreciate that.
Absolutely. All right, Will, I really appreciate you giving us your time. I know you're a busy guy. Teachers don't have a ton of free time, so I appreciate you giving us about 20 minutes of yours.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. Enjoyed it today.
Absolutely, buddy. You want to talk about what we were just talking about?
We can.
So we have some Buc-ee's jerky here to try, and we have that because the Walton clan decided that they were going to invade Baylor this week. How'd that go?
We invaded because with our presence at the game, it increased the game population by about 50%.
Was it really that empty?
It was empty. I was trying to be positive and say that the stadium was 50-60% full.
Okay.
But then afterwards, after thinking back through it, I'm like, no, it wasn't even that. It was...
So less than half.
Yeah. It was probably... realistically 35 to 40% full at best,
which is kind of funny because if you go back to the RG3 days, like that was a full stadium. That was a rocking crowd. I mean, it's any type of football in Texas you generally think is going to be pretty popular.
Yeah, I don't get it because even K-State, now we'll see what happens this weekend because we had several thousand tickets left over. We'll still have 45,000 people there easy. And our stadium holds about 53.
Okay.
But the last home game was still a sellout, and it was a top 10 attended game in the past 30 years. Like, K-State people love their football. They show up regardless.
So you're saying Kansas over Texas for football? You can't say that. I mean, there's synonymous Texas and football.
Per capita, I don't know. Like the amount of K-State fans is a lot less than the amount of Texas football fans in general.
Sure, yes.
But the people that are K-State fans are more diehard than the fans.
I'm going to disagree with you there. Yeah. How many people live in Kansas? Do you know?
2.5 million.
Okay, so it's very small.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's population, not even Houston.
Yeah, I mean...
Right. San Antonio, maybe.
Drove through Dallas-Fort Worth, and I had to look up on the way how many people live here, and it's like 7 million people.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. The Dallas-Fort Worth area is so overcrowded, and it's not as bad as Houston. Like, Houston's more overcrowded than Dallas.
Is Houston bigger?
Yes. I don't know about population size, but like...
The crowding wise.
Yeah.
There were the new developments we drove through, there's like 10 feet between houses, and they are packed in. And I was like, oh, that's just like a neighborhood. And then you look, and there's neighborhood as far as the eyes can see.
Every single one. Yep.
It's just packed
That was one of the most confusing things to me because I moved down to Texas after I got out of college. Didn't quite graduate, but got out of college. And that was the most surprising thing to me was how closely like nice houses were built next to each other. My brother's house, if I reached my hand out one of his windows and his neighbor reached his hand, we probably could have touched the hand. Like, it was unbelievable.
That's wild.
It was ridiculous. All right, so let's do a couple things. First, we've got good eats today. We have some of my world famous Pheasant Rangoon. So I'll just run you through what this is quickly. You can eat while I'm talking, and then I'll want you to talk while I eat. This is Pheasant Rangoon. I start with a wonton wrapper. I take some pheasant, cut it up into little cubes, cook that. Then I chop it up even finer. I mix it in with cream cheese, green onions, mango habanero jam from Terrapin Ridge Farms, chipotle lime sweet rub from Excalibur. I put it in the wonton, close it up, seal it with a little bit of egg, deep fry it in beef tallow, and this is the result. And then we hit it with a little bit more of the chipotle lime sweet rub at the end. Now, The mix of the cream cheese and everything might not have gone perfectly, because your brother ate one yesterday and he's like, oh, they're great. He goes, but there's no meat taste to it. And Flip ate one. He's like, I have literally nothing but meat in mine. So I might not have done a good job like distributing cream cheese and meat, but taste wise.
You're never just going to eat one anyway. So
no, absolutely not. That's a ridiculous. I ate an upsetting amount yesterday. No, I offered you some yesterday and you decided no. So now I'm addicted to them. So if you take them away from me, I'm going to go through withdrawals.
When are you going to learn that I do things at times just to annoy you?
I'm very aware.
But
I figure that's what most people do.
Yeah. No, they're amazing. Mine was definitely meat heavy. But most of the time you get like a wonton, a crab rangoon, or something of that nature, and it's just cream cheese,
right?
Which is not bad.
Not complaining.
It's still good, but it's like, do you want the main substance in there? And there's a lot in there, and it's good. Flavor wise, it's fantastic.
They were better yesterday too.
Do you sprinkle anything on the wonton wrapper?
After, yes, I put a little bit more chipotle lime sweet rub. These, I mean, I guess it just falls off after a while. Hitting them up in the air fryer next day, nowhere near as good, because you lose the crispiness of the wonton. We got Allie peeking in here, but I think she walked away. Yeah, she walked away. You lose the crispiness, but cooking them in beef tallow, better than peanut oil for sure.
It's great. Like you don't pick up like a heavy beefy tallowy flavor to it, because sometimes some things you do, and this just doesn't pick up at all.
Well, that's my main problem with like deep frying stuff, is I always feel like I'm picking up more of the oil flavor than anything else. When I deep fry things in beef tallow, I don't have that complaint. Like it just doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm way more excited about this batch, which is the first time I've done it in beef tallow. Somebody asked me yesterday, like, will you make a bunch more of those? And I was like, no. They're a huge pain in the butt to make. This is not an easy thing.
How many pheasant did you?
It was just 6 pheasant breasts.
Okay.
Or it might have even just been 4, now that I'm thinking about it. It was either 4 or 6. And then somebody else asked me if I would make more of those chicken roller things. Did you get to try those?
Yeah,
you did.
Yeah.
And again, I was like, no. Those are incredibly like hard to make. They take a long time. They're fun. Like it's an awesome if you're having a party, like invite people over and have those. But once they're gone, they're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cook steaks, a lot easier.
Yeah. Probably. I don't know. What are people more impressed with?
I think things like that.
Think so?
I think so. Like a steak is delicious, but like half the people in this building could cook you a steak. You'd be like, oh, it's so good.
Maybe steak is more of it feels like it has more value, but as far as like excitement level, maybe the more appetizer-y hors d'oeuvre, fancy hors d'oeuvre type of thing.
Have you looked at the OneNote for this podcast at all?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the emotional value of steak. We're going to be talking about emotions in steak later. All right, next thing we got to try. Let's get some of these. What did you think about Buc-ee's? So the Waltons obviously stopped at Buc-ee's on their way down, or were you not with them when they stopped there?
I stopped
because you went.
I stopped before them. I went down before they did.
So tell me about Buc-ee's. Is it yay, nay?
Have you been before?
I've never been to a Buc-ee's.
You've never been to a Buc-ee's?
So
when do I ever go near a Buc-ee's?
I think it's cool, but it's too much just junk.
It's too Texas-y.
Like there's just
it's a convenience store in there too. Like it's a complete like tourist trap of a gas station.
Yeah.
There's half the store is dedicated to just selling signs, T-shirts. Like there's a mascot that walks around. It feels like you're at Six Flags kind of.
Do you know what one of their founding principles was?
Mm-mm.
No truckers.
What?
Really?
They don't have any gas, whatever you call them, stations with a high enough clearance for 18-wheelers to come through. What they wanted to do was get a place where women would be comfortable, and they determined that trucks, like the big 18-wheelers, make women uncomfortable, so they specifically don't want them there.
The bathrooms are glorious, though.
Are they?
Oh, dude, if you need to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the place to do it at.
I'm telling you, like
top to bottom, you have your own door when you walk in there. It's stone around you. Constant good toilet paper. There's someone that's like constantly going in there
through.
yeah.
Any like large gas station like that nowadays on a highway, impressive bathrooms. Like very different than it was in the 90s. Like, They're really nice now.
You know when you go into a place and they have to give you a key?
Right. That's when you know you're in trouble.
The exact opposite.
Then you're like, can I just hold it?
Yeah, how many people have OD'd in that bathroom?
All right, you want to try the cherry? So we have 3 different flavors. That one is cherry maple, and that one's open because Allie and I both tried a small piece of it yesterday.
Hold on, Austin, what food did you get from Buc-ee's?
Did you try their brisket?
If anything.
Yes. So
Nice.
too much just Buc-ee stuff. He's like Patrick said, half the store is T-shirts and stuffed animals and oddball things and whatever. The other half is cool. I wish there was more grocery style instead of just convenience store. I don't know, because like you get Quick Trip. Quick Trip still has like some. I feel like Quick Trip had an equal amount of like fresher things.
Oh, really?
Like they have like Quick Trip has like fruit and vegetables and some cheese things, like stuff that's not just candy bars.
None
they
of
had
that.
aisles and aisles and aisles and aisles of candy bars.
But they also have like full briskets coming off.
Yeah, it's every kind of protein within bread you can imagine. Yeah.
So they had, I don't know, maybe like 6 to 8 different like sandwichy type of things.
Okay.
Which I'd say is similar to Quick Trip, but Quick Trip's burgers or burgers, sandwiches, all that stuff, nowhere near as big. Like the amount of meat they put on a Buc-ee sandwich was insane. Yeah. But half of the content was just sauce. Like it was a saucy sandwich.
Do they sell Buc-ee's like barbecue sauce and stuff? I'm not aware.
I don't know.
See any? They must.
I'm sure they do.
They brand everything. All right. So what are your thoughts on this, guys? This is the cherry maple.
I don't really get. I get more cherry than maple.
So,
but very limited cherry.
Very limited cherry. Yeah, it's not a strong cherry flavor, which myself I like because I'm not a big. I like cherries. I do not like cherry flavored stuff.
Generally. I think you'd have a hard time getting a strong cherry flavor, though. I think that's something that is just going to be a subtle flavor. I think it's good, but it's not very strong. But
Reed, what's its tagline? Maybe it's just cherry wood on there, like on the front of it under cherry maple. Does it say anything?
Made from solid strips of beef, made with artificial and natural flavors.
Huh.
So my biggest complaint is elsewise is that it is sugary. Yeah, artificial cherry syrup, high fructose corn syrup. Like this is not good for you. There's 9 grams of sugar to it. It should be 0. Like we're talking. There's as much sugar in here as there's protein. People.
It shouldn't be 0.
It should be 0.
Shouldn't be 0.
So I got the other stuff. My wife got a brisket sandwich. I tried some of that. I got like 3 bags of jerky and like chicken skins. I don't know. It's like pork rinds, but chicken.
Yeah, I've had those.
Those were good. The jerky was good, but I got like the 0 sugar jerky.
Right.
And it was as good as the rest.
So as I'm getting fatter.
There's not enough salt in this though, then. You take out the salt, you increase the sugar. If you do, you got to flip it. But there needs to be, does this taste salty to you?
No. But
See?
it still tastes good.
But jerky's supposed to be salty.
It's not sweet. It doesn't have to be. It does not have, Gigawatt is not a salty jerky.
Let's go back 3,000 years. What did they eat?
In time.
They ate salty meat, not sugary meat.
But not out of desire. That was out of necessity.
Let's go back to necessity.
No, let's not go back. Nobody wants to go back to subsistence living. This is Korean barbecue.
That's probably sugary, I'm imagining, too.
Now, the aroma, what's it?
You want to
describe us?
Maybe not.
Let's see what the smell is.
Yeah.
Is it going to be soy saucy?
Like that? Like,
it's going to be soy sauce.
The cherry maple, like you go, it was very jerky-y smelling.
Soy sauce right off the rip.
Really? All right. Let's see.
Also feels softer.
It's going to have...
Patrick, we're 2 for 2.
Then you
this
would
next
assume...
one's got a lot of...
You would assume more sugar in this one, then.
I've had 2 good throws of jerky to Patrick. We got 1 more bag. Let's see if we can get all 3 of them.
That's pretty good.
8 grams of sugar, so slightly less. 13 grams of protein, a little bit more.
Tastes like something we've made here, though, before.
Probably because they got soy in it.
Well, we don't make soy sauce.
I do.
What's that process, then?
Don't worry about
us
it.
top to bottom.
Don't worry about it.
Family secret.
A lot of fermentation involved. I like this.
A lot of sesame seed. More sesame seed than salt.
Sesame seed oil is what this tastes like. There you go.
Yep.
This is why salt is the second to last ingredient on this. The only one lower is sodium nitrite. So Personal opinion, bad jerky. What's the other one?
After you've chewed that up, you can convince yourself you've just taken a bite of Chinese food.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic.
Yep. Big fan. The Korean barbecue, Buc-ee's, absolutely tasty.
What's the last flavor?
Their consistency's great. Flavor, subpar.
Did we ever find out if sesame seed oil is like a seed oil or not?
Oh.
It is?
I believe it is.
Why?
Comes from a seed.
Yeah, I know, but like, I don't want to believe that because I like using sesame seed oil.
Yeah.
All right, the last one is called Bohemian Garlic.
So
What?
I had this
A ridiculous name.
I had this one already, but I had their 0 sugar version.
Okay.
If I
Well,
said
don't say anything. Don't.
if I said
influence.
Bohemian and then the next word starts with a G, what do you think I'm talking about?
Grove.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 for 3, Patrick.
Well, these
We're
pieces
nailing it
got
today.
smaller over time.
All
My
right.
God.
Yeah, this one it feels drier.
Yeah, this one's
Right off the
which
rip.
you might like. You like a drier jerky,
Okay.
right?
Feels drier. Good bite. It just tastes like garlic jerky.
I think you're being forgiving. I'm not even getting
This
garlic.
is a good jerky, though. This is what jerky's supposed to be.
It's my least favorite out of 3, I think.
It's got more chew. It's got less flavor.
Yeah. It needs pepper.
Yeah.
For this to be good, it needs pepper.
You know
Yeah, it tastes of pepper.
what's good about that one,
Very
though?
little.
You could take any seasoning you have that you're a fan of, shake it in the bag, and then you
make
have a
it-
good.
yeah.
Look at the back of this. Eat this piece then. There's black pepper all over that. I licked that one first, by the way.
Like I care. If there's anyone in this building who doesn't care, it's me.
So does that taste a little more peppery?
A little?
I mean, it's not
maybe?
like it's not our pepper garlic. I mean, our pepper garlic jerky
Yeah.
is packed. It's
kind of what I thought it would be.
That is meant to please the masses. Like it's not. Same reason why the cherry maple, to be honest, is probably not super strong. Is they want a little bit of flavor, but anytime you overdo it, you're gonna please me, and you're gonna piss off 90% of the world. Like
That's true.
I love over flavoring everything, but
All
that's
right.
not what most people want.
Yeah, that piece had a little bit more pepper flavor to
How
it.
much sugar is in that one?
What do you think the Bohemian
3,
indicates there, though?
2.
I no clue because I'm not
Yeah.
getting any flavor. What's Bohemia as a flavor?
I don't know, dude. When I think of Bohemian, I told Ada this the other day. I basically think of like Greenwich Village in New York City. I don't know what that means, but that's what I think of.
Yeah.
Like a bohemian lifestyle, like a very urban, trendy.
Yeah.
Like it basically was hipsters before hipsters.
Yeah.
No idea if that's what that word means.
No,
Literally.
that takes me there. Like
Right. But you get what I'm saying.
yeah,
Yeah.
I do.
Is there not like a country called Bohemia, or like Bohemian is like from somewhere, like a city or a place?
If
or...
it would have to be there was a Bohemia, because there's no Bohemia that I know of, at least right now. You gonna look that up?
Yeah.
Yeah. The other reason this is great is salt is on the ingredients twice.
Bohemian definition is a socially unconventional person, especially one who is involved in the arts.
Hey,
I nailed it.
Crushed it.
Somebody must have told me that at some point. There's no way I just came up with that.
the term originates from the French bohème.
The French.
Similar, nonconformist, beatnik, and hippie.
Dude, I nailed it. Yeah. The French are all terrible things. And also, let's be honest, French food's not that good.
Never even had it.
Not that good. You just don't.
No. When?
A lot of cream sauces, a lot of lemon.
Look at this guy. Look at his face.
They make the best fries, but that's about it.
You mean freedom fries?
Yeah.
Do you remember freedom fries? They were the best. Oh, good Lord. I loved freedom fries. That was a great error in American history. I mean, other than kind of what caused it all, right? Like that part wasn't great, but
Yeah.
everything else about that was fun. Okay. Tex sent in a couple of things through a Meat Matters post he did on Meatgistics, and I thought they were pretty funny, so I figured or not pretty funny, pretty awesome. So I figured we'd just go over them a little bit. Lasers aim to keep bird flu from Minnesota poultry flocks. Lasers at roughly $20,000 a pop he installed the lasers that he likens to Star Wars lightsabers peering off the roofs in the spring of 2024. Since then, the barns haven't experienced any reported cases of avian flu, even though a flock nearby got hit.
My family's safe, is what you're telling me.
Why do you have lasers?
You said the barns. We haven't had any.
Fair enough. But obviously, go ahead.
Are these like just a laser, like a little light laser, or is it something that's like it's a laser gun and we're shooting things?
We're not cutting any birds in half with this. What it's doing basically is discouraging wild birds from coming near. And since wild birds are usually the carriers of the avian flu,
why don't they just play the other bird noises that they do at other like stores in town?
Well, then you're gonna probably stress out your flock.
Yeah. I would have killed every single bird. I go, we're just gonna make the noise of a giant bird to discourage the other smaller birds from coming near.
If there's one mass-produced bird, really, there's only two options here. Would you rather have no more turkeys or no more chickens?
Wow. Probably no more turkeys, right? Chickens and everything.
I think I'd rather get rid of chickens because turkeys can
sorry, opposite.
You thought
100% I'd rather get rid of turkeys.
No, but like turkeys are like still like you can like naturally have them. Chickens, they're not natural. They're a domesticated animal.
Man, the
turkeys.
Turkey went from the potential, like it was going to be the bald eagle.
Benjamin Franklin wanted to make it our national bird.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
He was serious about it too, and he came up with like all these points on why it should be the turkey, and some of them are good points. Because I'll tell you where I see the most bald eagles is in Canada.
Oh wow. I mean, you go one time.
Three,
triple.
Oh. I see lots of bald eagles each time.
I see more eagles somewhere else, but
where?
In the zoo.
Nice.
Those don't count. Those
U.S. zoos,
it should
baby.
be 100% illegal for a zoo to keep a bald eagle.
I was actually at a zoo last week. We went to a zoo in Waco and they had bald eagles, and it was very depressing because most animals are like, oh cool, and they can move around. There's nowhere for them to fly.
Yeah.
They're just like hopping along the ground. But
it's a very appropriate.
Why?
Like that's what we are. We're in a cage, so symbolism at its finest.
But yeah, all right. So reading a little bit more on this, actually from earlier in the article. Where is that? It says they're terrified of getting avian flu, and you walk outside and you look up and you see a flock of 200 geese flying overhead, and you just hope that today isn't the day. So he takes safeguards. He wears boot covers and other gear to keep germs out and limiting who enters his barn. Lately, he's been experimenting with infrared light something, which is obviously laser. As turkey growers, we take a lot of pride in raising healthy animals, and it's kind of the opposite when we see a flock of sick birds that you know you're going to have to depopulate. It's heart-wrenching. It's some of the worst days of my life. At roughly $20,000 pop, we already talked about that. But how, like, isn't it just a big laser pointer?
That's what I'm guessing then.
Couldn't you just tape a bunch of laser pointers together?
Yeah.
$20,000 seems very steep for something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of get it though, because if you want to produce something into an actual product that's like built together well, but you don't have like a large need for it, like your intro costs are gonna be high.
100%.
Like, we have a new product sitting over there, not to be named, that if we bring that to market, it could cost us tens of thousands of dollars before we even get started, and the commitment to inventory, and it's a big jump. So that'll get priced into the product. The product will be priced a lot higher than what a normal margin would be, because we have to go recoup
the initial
large upfront investment. And so could you just duct tape a bunch of laser pointers together? Absolutely. But then you got to go change the batteries every couple days, and you got to create a little turret to move it around or something. Like, you got to do a lot to make it work. But would it work fine? Sure. But to put all that effort into it, I'm sure those things don't cost $20,000. I bet they cost like $2,000. and they're just marking them up to 20 because that's what it takes to go market and sell them and get back their investment.
Yeah, marketing probably is a big one. Like getting these people not only to know about them, but then convincing them to use them. So there's $400,000 right now that's been allocated basically just to help people, poultry farmers, install these, purchase them, learn about them even. The assistant director of the Board of Animal Health, the entity that tracks and responds to the case of avian influenza, she said the lasers are still new, so there isn't much data yet on how effective they are, but anecdotal evidence has been positive. We're definitely supportive of producers trying it. I know the producers that have installed those lasers, and they're very expensive, but they've been really happy with them. So if you own a poultry farm, look at lasers as a way to protect your birds from a virus. The world makes no sense, but it is what it is. All right. The emotional power of steak, which should be what this is titled. Sure. This episode needs to be called The Emotional Power of Steak.
Top five
emotional powers of steak. Okay. Key findings and themes. So this is from a first of its kind, I guess. They've never done it before. Cargill came out with a steak report. They're calling it the State of Steak, and it's aimed at revealing what diners really want from steak food service. So first, steak is emotionally and symbolically powerful. Consumers don't just see steak as protein. They view it as a marker of quality, indulgence, celebration, or reward. Anyone want to comment on that? Does anyone have thoughts on that? Like, do you think of a steak as an indulgence or something to be eaten during a celebration?
That's usually when I'm allowed to have it.
Okay.
So, like growing up, it's like pick something else.
All the time.
You're not getting
right,
a steak. Yeah, like no matter where we were at. And it's just now that my family, they're not huge steak fans, which is like, so if we happen to go to a place, like we went to Longhorn over the last weekend, I was like, oh heck yeah, finally I'm getting a steak. So indulgence, not like I'd love to have it every other night, just to like, because I feel much better when I'm having, like, I don't want to say a lot of meat, but when I remember when I was in Texas and we were just I was having steak 3 nights in a row. I felt great energy.
Sure.
Like actually sustained throughout the day, and just a slew of other benefits that I saw from it. So now, is that maintainable? I don't know, maybe, but my body was lacking in that source of protein.
Sort of mineral, yeah.
For sure.
So one of the things in the article, it says it's a daily indulgence is what they try to tell producers and restaurants to like market it as. But that term to me makes no sense. Daily indulgence. Like an indulgence is something that you indulge in like once in a while. Yes?
Should it be? Probably. An indulgence is probably a once in a while thing. But how many people would say, oh, I have a craving for chocolate, but they're eating like a chocolate bar every day. They're indulging every day. Like that's
shots fired. Okay.
No, but that's the, I don't know. That's where we've gotten to kind of as a society, is we crave comfort. We crave having the things every day, all the time. It's not just a once in a while thing.
So
anymore.
You're saying indulgence is something that almost, it's bad for you, but you do it anyway because you want it?
Maybe.
Now, is this steak out somewhere or just every day?
This is steak, like they're aiming this at restaurateurs.
I like the cost of steak is ridiculous right now, right? Or just any grocery item. But that for sure has a premium on it. But it's almost like people who aren't set up to prepare a steak the right way aren't going to go out of their way to get one anyways.
Correct.
So maybe they're indulging in it, but then you still like you have to be a few $100s down the line as far as like have the appropriate, whether it's a pellet smoker or something that has a sear box, or maybe you got an awesome cast iron or something.
Yeah, like I mean, anyone can cook a steak well as long as they have a stovetop.
You can't just start.
It's not.
Yeah. From scratch.
No, you need a place to live, obviously. Yes.
So you already got.
But no, you can cook a good steak in an apartment. It's not gonna. I don't think it'd be as good as.
But those people aren't necessarily. So maybe they're looking at it from their perspective as an indulgence out somewhere. But but the guys that love the steak already, like you guys, you're making your own better at home, in the way that you want it, and then so it's not as an indulgent. You're having it 2-3 times
That's
a week
a good way
to
to
make
look at
it
it.
worth the cost of purchase of your, green eggs or whatever anybody has out there. So
yeah, I hadn't looked at it that way, but that's a decent way of looking at it. Yeah. But because of that, because people look at it as an indulgence, failure in any way, and that could be inconsistency in doneness, presentation, or options, can damage loyalty and satisfaction.
Definitely.
So they want basically their chefs to learn how to cook a steak, or their cooks to learn how to cook a steak, and they want their servers to do a better job being able to like point out the differences in the big four, right? Which are ribeyes, sirloin, strips, and filet, right? So each one of those, well, 3 of those have, in my opinion, at least a very specific benefit to them.
Yeah.
And servers sometimes just be like, it's steak. Right?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
They don't know. So
Yeah, I like them treating it like a big deal. But yeah, if like you're getting one of the most expensive items on the menu.
yeah, almost always.
Yeah. And
Like
then
if there's lobster, that'll be higher.
sure.
But
the
other than
chance
that,
of that,
it's way up there.
So when they mess up, it's a big deal.
Yep.
But they usually almost always take care of it if you have any. That's why sometimes they go, can you please cut into that so we see if the cook is right? But then sometimes if the cook is nailed, it's a terrible piece of meat sometimes.
Yeah.
Or it doesn't have the amount of fat I want on it, like for a ribeye.
You can cook you can do a perfect cook on a subpar steak, and you're not going to be happy with it. It's going to be tough,
Yeah.
right? Like that's just the way it goes. If you start with a really bad quality cut of meat, you can only do so much.
Yeah. Like I said, I've been to Saltgrass or whatever that place is down the street. Like I was expecting way more just from the appearance of the place. I walk inside, it looked like a Cracker Barrel threw up on the walls. I was like, oh, well, I'd never been in there. Everyone always talks highly of it. The outside looks like like a Western place. And then you go in there, it's way too well lit. There's no dim lighting at all. I'm sitting down. It's one of those, you could see everyone in the damn restaurant.
And you don't like that. Yeah.
I'm at a table. They're 0 for 3 already. And then I look up on the walls and it's just like anything you could imagine is just, there. I go, what's a sled have anything to do with this place?
So you're a big booth guy? Is that what we're getting to? You want a booth because you said you're at a table. That's a...
Yeah, I would prefer a booth.
Okay.
But not if you have 5 or less people, booth. 6 or more, we got to get a table. We got to sit around something. So
okay. Consistency is still a major pain point. About 1 in 4 steak consumers says they're dissatisfied with their last restaurant steak, citing wrong doneness, lack of choice, or variable quality. Because past experience heavily influence where diners eat next. Delivering consistency is a competitive imperative, which makes total sense. And then obviously the last one, we kind of already talked about it. It's the big 4. They're really, people are only ordering those 4 steaks when they're out. If you go to a high-end steakhouse or something that's really well known for steak, you might look for a different cut. But in general, that's what everyone is going to eat. But it says implications and recommendations for food service operators. So invest in training, and that is both your cook staff and the waiter. They kept going back to that. And it does make sense, right? That's the person that's going to get them to help decide what to order, I assume. I would never listen to a waiter's recommendation. Would you? Do you guys take waiter's recommendations with any weight of anything?
Like, I don't know. I always
said, this is my favorite. I get it all the time. I go, you're trying to sell that. I'm not eating it.
I will usually listen out of being polite because I don't want to tell someone, hey, I don't really care what your special is or what you like. But it's less than 10% of the time I will actually truly do what they've
Because aren't they just trying to move something that maybe is not moving?
Yeah, almost all the time. When they tell you like, oh, this is my favorite, it's because they're overstocked on it. Now, I will never be rude to a waiter, no matter what. They touch your food.
Sure.
Like,
I was in Galveston one time, and I didn't ask for what because I knew like I got like a platter, so it's like a little bit of everything. But it made me feel good when the guy goes, "Oh, great choice." And I was like, "That's right, yeah,
that's fine."
That's yeah. But if he would have said that beforehand, you know what I prefer is that. I'm like,
I'd be more apt to like give them 2 options and say, should I get the chicken fried steak or the barbecue beef sandwich?
And when they emphatically pick one over the other, you're like, okay, yes.
Then I'll go with that. All right, moving on. A label for lab-grown meat. So there's a bill out there that would require grocery stores or restaurants to label something as lab grown.
What symbol would you like on there?
That's good. Have you ever seen the breakdown of why the biological material symbol is the way it is?
Yeah.
I want something like that. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like biological waste material?
I think so.
I just want to see it as, if it's lab grown, it's going to be like a little stick figure of the animal in a white lab coat.
Oh, there you go.
That's the icon you have to use.
That's a good one. Put a cow in an actual lab coat or something, standing up, holding a clipboard with glasses.
Yeah, it's perfect.
I love it.
You could do that.
All right, so I 100% will go with that. But it's a proposal. It has numerous co-sponsors right now. State Rep Clinton Moses, and he's calling it the Truth in Labeling Bill. It's very important to the general public because they want to know what it is they're eating. I would certainly want to know if what I was eating was something synthetically made or man-made versus something that was naturally occurring in our meat production process. Could not agree with them more there. Once again, you'll just never catch me eat a lab-grown cutter steak.
On the flip side, though, like, why don't we do the same thing with the rest of our food and things we eat or consume in one way or another?
What do you mean?
How much stuff out there is synthetic, and we don't care? No one cares if it's a supplement you're taking. Is it a natural form or a synthetic form? Or when you're eating food, are you checking the label to see was this flavoring artificial or natural? And if it's natural, is it still even natural? Because when you say natural flavoring, sometimes that's a little sketchy.
Oh yeah, no,
on
it
what
can
it
be
means.
very sketchy.
But
here's the
people
deal.
don't care too much on that part. That's why you get vegan. You get the quote unquote natural flavorings.
But some of like the actual, like the real natural choice of it are things like, sorry, but beaver anus. Like there are glands in a beaver's anus that they used to use for I think vanilla flavoring. Like that was the way it was done.
Yeah.
And then someone was like, this is disgusting. Let's make a synthetic version of this, right? So
yeah.
I think it's raspberry.
Was it raspberry? It's good pull, Patrick.
Yeah.
Some people would say that eating meat is disgusting, and so they want the synthetic.
Some people are moral cowards.
I mean,
it all
goes in different directions. My argument boils down to like, should we want like labeling on meat because it still creates a stigma and a view in our industry that could be negative that isn't really there elsewise. I don't know.
If you're afraid of water, you have rabies, right? A telltale sign.
Correct.
If you're afraid of meat,
what do you have?
What do they have? There's probably something that there
probably is something
there's not
undiagnosed.
Yeah.
Carnivorophobia?
That's my new favorite.
Yeah.
Patrick, we're going to figure this out. That's a conspiracy theory. I'm going to tie this all together.
Yeah.
Lyme's disease or
there's
something.
Yeah. Well, they're outdoors a lot, maybe, right? Their version of outdoors is different.
Yeah.
Like when you walk around, come on. That's
not the same thing.
Yeah, it's not the same.
It's not the same thing.
Like kids were forced to go to recess. I wouldn't say they're athletic, you know? It's like...
All right, Muskogee, whatever that is, county deputies arrest 2 accused of stealing thousands of dollars of meat. And usually when you see this, it's like, oh, they got away with $1,400 worth. Nope, these people tried to steal $30,000 of meat. They did it through ordering it. They did it twice to this family farm, which for whatever reason I can't find the name of right now. Where is it? Watson Farms Meat Market in Council Hill. They ordered $30,000, came, picked it up, no problem, left, did it again, and both times they then reported their card stolen, and they happened to catch this one as it came through. Otherwise, they would have gotten away with it again. So they have the guys arrested, but this exact same thing is happening like kind of all throughout Texas. I guess the criminal organizations in Houston, and this is what they're doing to get meat. And I'd be really interested to know, what are they doing with that beef? Because some restaurants will buy it from you, but a lot won't.
Yeah.
So if you have, let's say they've done it, let's be conservative and say 10 times. So they've $300,000 worth of retail meat. What are you doing with that?
What are you doing?
Are you just like a cookout for your gang?
Yeah, you got to get rid of that. Yeah. They probably messed up, opened it up, said, "Oh, dang it,
it's not supposed to be meat." No, they knew it was meat. But yeah, it's just absolutely insane.
I'm gonna keep a closer eye on like people selling meat at the farmers market now, because that's my idea. Take it to the farmers market.
That would be a good one.
Well, Guy Fieri's, all his tequila got stolen apparently. So he was doing he's in the liquor game.
They all
now.
are. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's George Clooney's fault, by the way.
he had. Yeah, I know. He had it's the show Entourage's fault, really. But he had multiple truckloads stolen, like to the point where it's like he said it was like a very organized, like they all got hijacked or something like that.
Yeah.
Stolen at gunpoint. I'm assuming. I didn't really read the article. But $1 million.
Oh,
He's having to pay. Yeah,
that's terrible.
They said we're done. We had to pay back people and stuff.
Yikes. All right, last couple of things. One, I found this funny, and it's obviously not true, but I went to Google News earlier, and I Googled beef under news, and nothing showed up. Clearly, they're having some sort of massive problem at the moment. All right, and we've got just a couple of quick wild cards.
Hold on, before you show them that one, I watched a video yesterday.
Yeah.
And the best version of AI videos now are like where they mimic the look of Ring cameras.
Yeah, I know, dude.
That's the perfect mixture of like you're used to the look of it, so you don't question kind of too much what's going on. But the obvious premise of this was just it was a kid feeding a bear at his front door with his bare hand.
They're all bears.
It's all
the like.
It's all bears.
There's just one of this old lady like feeding a bear, and a cop's like, "Hey, you got to stop feeding that." It's like, "Oh no, this is Nelly or whatever. He comes around every year and I take care of him."
Just giving him candy.
And unless you knew that something like that was apt to be AI, you wouldn't be able to tell.
No, not at all.
We're in such a scary time.
You got to put
Oh my God. We're done. Whole society's done. All right. 3 quick ones. I want to see how quickly, if at all, you can figure out what this machine is actually doing. Don't read the words, just look at it. So those are, what do you think those are?
I mean, it looks like a tenderizer.
Of what? What's a tenderizer?
Fish.
Okay. So that's not correct, but that's not a terrible guess.
It's just like mashing it. Oh, wow. It's like shoving it through like a strainer, basically.
But wait till you see what it's shoving it through. That's just an enormous grinder plate.
Oh,
so what this is
that's
it's a center hub with a pneumatic press on it, and it's just pressing down on the skin side of the fish, and it's pushing it through a grinder plate as the plate moves a certain amount every time.
And something skinning the fish too.
And then on the back end, the skin gets peeled off the plate. I don't know if they do something with the skin or
it
not.
said they were using the skins for something else.
Okay.
That's interesting. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. I've never seen or thought of being able to grind in that process. And I mean, it looks like it went through a grinder.
Yeah, it looks like ground meat.
Yep. Okay. This is just to show what absolute badasses male lions can be. So jaguars pull their kills up in trees to protect them from lions all the time. I mean, that lion probably weighs 400 or 500 pounds.
Yeah.
And watch what he's going to do. He's trying to figure out, do I really want to go up there? Yeah, I'm going to go up. Look, the size of its paws.
No way. He just grabs that and is
I'm
like,
going to go.
So is there someone in that
there's
tree?
something. It's
something.
A jaguar's kill. And it's just like, no, I think I'll take this. Thanks. And just scoots back down the tree, backs down a little bit. It's like, nope.
Drop it.
And
So you're gonna carry? He carries it down. Wow.
Oh yeah, he's not dropping that.
Oh yeah.
They are fascinating creatures.
That's insane. That's good. I thought there was a person in the tree.
No, that would be very bad. Somebody would have shot that lion by then. I wonder if you go on safari, like, what are the guides armed with? Because if it's tranquilizer guns, I'm not going out with them. Like, you better have a big bore. Like, hey, that lion's charging me. It needs to die before it gets to me.
Yeah.
So this guy's out in the woods, and I think it said it was in, I think I read somewhere that was in Utah. But look how perfectly camouflaged that is.
That's insane.
Unless it moved or made noise, I would never see that. I'd walk right by it.
Yeah.
So it's a large mountain lion on the other side of this rock with its whole head and chest sticking up, and you still can't see it. Now you can because it turns its head. But the guy said it was stalking him like all day long.
That's wild. Yeah, you just can't. You can see like eyes and a nose, but you can't make an outline of his head,
at
ears,
all.
body. He's blended in so well.
Yep.
That's insane.
Yeah. If I'm that person and I get away from it once and it shows up again, it's dead. Like I'm shooting it at that point. Just I'm not taking a chance with. What a terrible way to go. Because they're not even that big. Like at least if you get killed by a tiger, it's like tiger took me out. It's like 700-800 pounds of muscle. That thing's probably like 120 pounds max.
When you're laying there bleeding out,
Yeah.
you're gonna be like, I had a good fight. If it was a big cat, if it's the 120 pounds, you're like, man, I'm just a wimp.
Someone somewhere is gonna laugh at me over this. No one's laughing at you for getting killed by a tiger.
I don't know. I think either way, it's gonna suck. And in the moment, I'm not gonna care. So,
yeah, how we go out matters. All right. Well, we will see you guys next week. Have a good one.
thanks everybody.
Thanks for checking out the Meatgistics podcast. To shop everything but the meat, head on over to waltons.com. To get your meat processing questions answered by experts and enthusiasts alike, head on over to our online community at meatgistics.com. Waltons, everything but the meat.